Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Wildcat Grill for the fifth quarter show featuring your coach, Lance Gillespie. The 6-0 Rabun County Wildcats, 2-0 in the region, took on the Providence Storm last Friday night and came out victorious 62-21. An offensive explosion. Coach, tell us about it.
Yeah, so, just the thing that we talked about before we went out on the field, you had the previous week where you're playing Banks. It's at home. You got all the emotions and all of the atmosphere that's surrounding what we did for Gunner and those things, and just really kind of provided some motivation, provided a good atmosphere, and then it was totally opposite. It was quiet, and so you're worried about your kids coming out flat. And one of the things that we try to take great pride in is being the most excited to play each and every Friday night. And some nights that's easier than others. But I thought our kids did a really good job of creating their own energy, creating their own juice, and not relying on an atmosphere. And motivation fades, but great teams have the discipline to do what it takes to get yourself on the emotional edge that it takes in order to play this game. And I'm really proud of our guys for their approach and the way that they approached the game. I thought we came out. I thought we were the most excited to play. And I think if you turn on the film and you watch us play, I think you see that. I think it shows. I think it shows early in games, and I think it's super important. So, obviously, we got off to a good start. I had a couple of little mishaps there with a turnover and kind of fell down on one of our exchanges. But outside of that, overall played good football, and we let one ball get behind us on a busted coverage, but. For the most part, really pleased with the way that we played.
We ended up with 551 passing and rushing yards, 634 total yards, so our average is back up to over 400 yards a game, Coach. And it was a complete offensive show from our starters all the way down to some of our underclassmen who got in later in the game. Can you just kind of talk about that a little bit?
So we pulled – what we said at halftime was if they decided to run the clock in the third quarter, then we would pull our starters in the third quarter. So defensively, I don't think we had any of our starters on the field for the first drive. Offensively, I wanted Cooper to get a set with predominantly the ones. I thought it was important for us to do that for our team's sake, for his growth, and so you got to see what he could do with the ones a little bit, and I thought he did a good job.
He did a great job. He was 2 for 5 for 41 yards in limited time and a TD, his first touchdown pass.
Yeah, that was big,
which was exciting for everybody there.
He had one mishap on one of our concepts, but other than that, I thought he was spot on. And one of the interesting things is they've been in a three-man front and an odd front all night long, and so he knows that he's fixing to go in, and he's talking with Ty, and Ty's like, it's going to be an odd front a lot. And the very first snap he's in there, they jump into an over front. And he recognized it and got us in the right play and did his part. And so really proud of a lot of things that you may not see as far as his ability to process and kind of take into account what's going on.
And he's only a freshman.
That's
so
right.
you should be excited about what's going to be happening here. Mm-hmm. Guys, what y'all think about that offense? I know y'all got some questions.
Go ahead, Joey. Go ahead. Well, I was going to say, in addition to Cooper, was Amir Thompson. I think we had 3 12-yard runs, a 13-yard run, and 2 and 1, but just seemed to really bear down and almost invite contact and really stretch out the runs, especially after contact.
Well, let me tell you something. We're really excited about that guy, and you see it on the scout team And it doesn't matter what Amir's doing. Amir's going to do it to his very best ability. You know, today we asked him to simulate some things that we're expecting to see on Friday night, and he goes hard. And he's a physical kid that's not afraid of contact, and that's always a big plus for a back, because there's a lot of kids that that can run a football. And the things that separates yourself as a running back is your ability to pass protect, your ability to block, and your physicality when you're running the football. We're blessed right now that we've got a room full of running backs that take great pride in their toughness, and take great pride in their physicality. And I know Coach Worley's going to visit with us a little bit later on tonight, and I'm sure he'll speak to that.
You could feel it in the stands, just how people were reacting to watching the offense run the ball.
Yeah, it's a culture.
Tremendous.
I mean, it's the way our backs are.
Yep.
Well, Amir, by the way, had 9 carries for 74 yards.
Yes.
So he and
one
a,
of the
and a
things
touchdown.
that's kind of funny. All the 3 backs that had touches, they each had 9 carries. I think.
Exactly,
right?
they did.
Yeah.
Every one of them. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Reed Giles had 9 carries for 135 yards, 2 touchdowns. Lake had 9 carries, 85 yards, a touchdown. Amir had the 9 carries, 74, and a touchdown. And Ty, he had just a little old 2-yarder, but it was for a touchdown. So we're excited about that. What else, guys?
I'm going to touch on, week after week we talk about it, but these guys can't do that without that line.
Yes.
And the offensive line is doing a superb job, not just your starters, not just your ones, but your 2s and your 3s. And it was just amazing to see them come in and continue the progress of scoring points and putting them on the board.
I thought our line of scrimmage, especially our offensive line, our defensive front has been playing well the entire year. And our offensive line, with the youth that we've had and some guys that have not had a whole bunch of snaps there, you've been able to see growth with those guys. And I thought, Friday was a game where you really started to see a lot of things come together, and was really pleased with the way they played. And it's that time of year that you want to see or be hitting on all cylinders. And I thought we played. We didn't play spotless, but we played pretty good.
Let's talk about real quick. I want to give these guys some recognition because it was an offensive explosion. Ty was, what'd you have him down for, Chad?
I had him for 38 of 40, but
it turned out to be like 13 for 14. But he had 200 yards and 3 TDs. He threw 1 to Reed Burrell, 1 to Reed Giles, and 1 to Hunter Giles. And then Cooper Kowalski came in, and he had 2 for 541 and 1 TD, also to Reed Burrell. So we ended up from just the passing game, we had the 4 touchdowns. Then we got to the rushing side there, and that's where Reed Giles had 2, Lake 1, Amir 1, and Ty had another running touchdown. So 9 total touchdowns.
It's hard to be.
I wanted those guys to hear that because they were.
It's hard to be 13 to 14 against Air some days.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty good night.
Yeah, it was a good night. We've scored 237 points this year and only given up 72. So that tells you a little bit about that offense and what we've done. It really does. All right, let's talk about we talked about the offense. Let's talk about the defense a little bit.
Yep.
What did you think about that defensive performance? Because, like you said, they really on a busted play scored 1 touchdown, and then they scored a couple when we had a lot of our younger players in.
Yes. So we gave up the one deal there in the first half, but other than that, I thought we played well. I thought we got some pressure on the quarterback, and obviously got it out of his hand a little bit faster than he wanted, and thought we ran to the football well, which is always important, and did the things that we needed to do in order to get out of that game.
Well, I think I see our defensive coordinator out there. He's got to be proud because once again they were just flying all over the place. We had, and this is a stat that I always like to look at because it talks a little bit about our defense, and that we had 11 players that made solo tackles, 17 players that were in on a tackle. And that included, I think, Colton Cannon. He was a leader with 5. Giles had 5. So, but that just tells you that it was spread out among a lot of different players on defense.
Yeah, I do believe in, and Bill has emphasized, getting to the football and having 11 people to the football. And I think that we have 11 people on the field at any given time that are willing to make a play and willing to make a tackle and have the courage and the physicality and all the things that you need in order to excel on that side of the ball. And really, I told Bill the other day, we meet every Sunday. We meet for about 20 minutes and kind of get a rundown of, his thoughts on the past game, thoughts on the game that we're coming up on. And I told him, one of the biggest compliments that I can give a coach is you put an edge on a kid. And, I remember years ago, Mike Hodges said, he's an edge coach, meaning that he can put an edge on a kid. And Bill does that. And, I just think that our defense has performed outstanding throughout the year.
By the way, Mike Hodges was a legendary coach here in Georgia, won state championships at West Rome and some other places, and went down to.
That's who Coach Bobo worked for.
Yeah, who Coach Bobo worked for.
Yeah, Coach Bobo worked for him at West Rome and at Thomasville.
Yeah, correct. So another legend. I like it when you throw out those names you've worked with, and that's really cool. All right, so on that defense, we also ended up with 3 more sacks the other night, which was cool. A couple of more interceptions. We had Dane Tyler and Sean Frooster once again taking the ball away from them, and then we had the 3 sacks, and then we had our hurries. We had Hibbler had 3 hurries. Williams had a couple of hurries, couple of tackles. Yearwood had a hurry. Hopper had 4 hurries. I mean, it was a total team defense effort.
Yep, and some of them were by design pressures, but a lot of them were not. I think we can create some pressure with the front 4, and that's always a really big deal.
Is Coach Stewart as intense in a meeting as he is out on the field on Friday nights?
Absolutely.
I mean,
all the time.
He turn over tables and tear doors off of hinges in the locker room.
It's kind of who you are. It's not a switch that you turn off.
Well, I tell you one thing. I'd like to play for him. I guarantee you that. I may not make a lot of tackles, but I'll hit you. All right. So with that in mind, why don't we talk about our players of the game? Let's do a little talking about that. So bear with us while we swap.
Our special teams player of the week is Brian Avila.
All right, Brian Avila, let's hear it. Slide in here, Brian. You're on the hot seat, man. Now, Christian's been in here. It's time for you to give us some words of wisdom from that special teams. All right, so Friday night, 9 touchdowns. That means you came out and did what? 8. All the PATs, man. So you were an integral part and have been all year. So, and you guys jump in there when you're ready. But one of the things I've really, it's almost become automatic, which is in high school is not always the case, but it's always been automatic. So sometimes I've even called it good before you've actually kicked it. But I got a lot of confidence in you, man. So tell us about, now Christian has told us about routines. I watched y'all the other night at Providence. Y'all were obviously always first out on the field. Tell me about that routine y'all go through.
So that routine started with us my freshman year with C.J. Stoffel. He'd make us go on the field early, get our stretches in, get focused. It's just like a mental game, kicking. So just get our minds clear and find the sweet spot on the ball and make it in.
Okay, and let me ask you this. I noticed that y'all did these crazy calisthenics, man. You were stretching stuff that I would probably still be laying there. But y'all had stuff back over your foot, over your head, and you had rubber bands and stuff. Is that something y'all do every day?
Yes, normally we stretch every day, try to get our legs loose and body loose so we can swing across the ball good. Get that mobility in.
Okay, we've also seen you kick a couple field goals this year.
Yeah.
Long being, 40, wasn't it 40 yards? 44?
44, I think.
44. 44, sorry. I cheated you out of 4 yards there, man. So you got the leg. In fact, we've mentioned in the booth before, this is in Brian's range right here if we decide to kick it. So that's been pretty cool to know that. And special teams, we talked about it a million times in here about it, how important it is, but it's really important when you know you've got in your pocket a guy that can hit from 44 yards. So
What's one question I have? I'm not a kicker. You ever watch Game Day?
Yes.
They always have the game day field goal, right?
Yeah.
So next time they get close to Georgia here, you need to try to go sign up for that. You can win a lot of money. But, the biggest question, never being a kicker, is, how do you handle that stress when, it's fortunately, we haven't been in that situation, but, every point counts. So what's something you do, or, is it just prep? Is it just something you tell yourself, or does it just, as soon as you get up there, everything goes silent? How does that work?
So normally I just get away from the whole team and get a couple swings in, get a couple balls in the net, and after that I just try to focus my mind, get some swings in, and then right when I go out there I take a couple deep breaths and then just swing.
That's awesome.
that is awesome.
All right, Christian, we'll ask you the same question that Brian will ask you the same question that we asked Christian. How did you get into kicking extra points and PATs?
So I started getting into kicking in my 8th grade year of middle school. I wasn't really looking for a sport to play that year. So Coach Stoffel got me into football, and then after that I just started kicking it, started liking it ever since.
Yeah. Well, it's good you start that early, especially like we were saying with the mental game. There's such a mental aspect to it. So we appreciate everything you're doing. You're doing great.
Yeah, great job.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you have a special kicking ball that you like to be in there in the game?
Yes, I have 2 kicking balls that I like.
All right, so by the way, crucial part of our team is the ball boy, making sure he gets your ball into the game.
Yes.
All right, so what makes it so special? What is this? The Brian Avila football? Tell us about it.
So before pregame, we pump the balls up however we like it, and then we just pick a ball that's fat to get better contact on the ball, and that's the ball we kick.
Soft, hard? You like a soft? I mean, this is I'm not asking you Tom Brady secrets here. I'm just asking you, do you like it where you a little softer or a little harder?
A little harder on.
Oh, a little harder. Okay. Yeah. All right. And now I want you to tell us about how important it is to have somebody that is taking that snap and gets it down exactly like you want it. What do you want when you're approaching that? Are you if you see the seams, are you going, oh crap? Or are you just going, perfect, Ty, way to go? Tell me about it.
So all 3 of us, Hayden and Ty, we all work during the week, get our snaps, holds in, kicks in, and I just tell them however the ball lands, I'll kick it.
It don't matter.
No, it don't matter.
All right, man. Just throw it up here.
Yeah.
I love that attitude. That sounds like a Coach Stewart defensive attitude right there. Just give it to me. Well, man, we're so proud of you and the efforts that you've put in this year. We know you work hard. If you've never watched these guys, get to the stadium early this week and watch these guys during warm-ups, man. It's really impressive. And a lot of you will be going, I never was able to do that. So we'd love to. We love watching you, and thank you all for all you're doing.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
Thank
for working hard, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
This is your Special Teams Player of the Week, Brian Avila. Here you go, Coach.
All right, the Defensive Player of the Week is Mac Williams.
There you go,
Good.
man. Get that mic a little closer right there. There you go. All right. Big D. All right, man. Y'all were all over it the other
Yes,
night.
sir.
I mean, all over it. You made some big plays the other night. And these guys, I tell you what, you talk about getting excited. These guys get real excited in the booth when we're on defense, but especially you have brought something to that defense that has made it exciting. And I just want to tell you that up front, that it's been really exciting because we talk about it a lot. You had 2 hurries the other night. You had, I think, 3 tackles, but you were just all over the field. So tell us about what were your overall impressions. How'd you play? How defensively did you think y'all did?
I thought we did good. We really emphasized, Coach Stewart's really makes us go through, replication, make sure we can read what we're doing, and we can, what's the word? We can execute it when we go on the field. So, we did good filling our gaps, make sure we get our correct blitzes in, and, putting a lot of effort in on the field.
Okay. The other night, they had, for those of you who weren't at the game, they had two quarterbacks the other night. They had a little bitty guy, and then they had this big old giant guy. And so what did y'all prepare for those two during the week? Does Coach Stewart have you prepare for both of those, or did he just say go kill both of them?
No, we're always trying to kill the quarterback.
I know it. I know you are. I know how it is.
Was that y'all talking about Banks County?
Yeah. No.
Providence.
Providence the other night.
Providence.
The two quarterbacks they played. You don't care. You were just hitting people, weren't you?
I didn't notice another quarterback coming in.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, they had this little bitty guy about my size, and then they had a big guy about Joey's size over there, Chad's size.
Hey, just remember, get the man with the ball.
Yeah, that's right.
That is awesome. That may be the best answer we've had all year from a player. I didn't even notice. Well, you were all over the place. Guys, jump in here, man. I'm shook up here.
Well, you've done a phenomenal job all season. Of course, you came from Rabun Gap to here. This is your first year here. And I guess, how's that been a transition for you? What's the biggest hurdle you've crossed, and, how have you transitioned? How does that process work?
Yeah, I think it's pretty hard adjusting to a new school. It was much different for Rabun Gap. Creating new friendships, but coming in was very family orientated, and everybody was very kind and loving whenever I first came to the school and toured it. So it was a great first impression of the school.
Man, that's good to
loved
hear.
it.
Great. Yeah, well, if you didn't know, my son did it too his junior year, and best choice he ever made. So enjoy it while you're here.
Yes, sir.
It goes by quick.
Mac, really enjoy watching you play. You seem like you really have a good time out there. But it's also, too, it's apparent because we feel like a broken record sometimes, keep talking about the defensive line especially. Just the job Coach Richardson's done and all that. But I don't know if Coach Gillespie said it or one of us said, but it just seems like there's been a whole lot more communication. Y'all are playing together with great rhythm now, it just seems like. And TJ on the other side and Ethan, or a.k.a. Booger, and Yearwood, the four of y'all really are doing how's it come together? Just the four of y'all playing together like basketball players that finally hit a rhythm.
Yeah, we have a pretty good connection when we're out there. We know where we're heading. We like to get together in the middle.
Yeah.
Talk over what we just saw from Coach Stewart's, and make sure we all got our things correct, and then we get out there, execute it.
Well, we saw it. How many hurries did you have? Y'all did a great job, and it's obvious y'all are coming together. It's great.
When you first came in at the beginning of the year, you weren't even on the roster, okay? And so they kind of came over and said, hey, this is a new guy we got here, Mac Williams, 45. And then so we had to write it down at the top of our paper up there. And let me tell you something. It didn't take long for us to find your name up here because you were the first game, second game, you were all over the place, and you've done that consistently now. And we, I tell you what, these two guys, they really love you, man. I'm telling you. Now, I've never heard, you don't hear many defensive players. He just said he came in and they were so kind and loving. I got news for you. He has not shown any kindness nor any loving to those poor boys on offense that we've played so far, and that's what we expect.
That's what we want.
We do that kind of loving stuff here at home, but but you've proven that you are ready to step up and help lead this defense. You've become a leader on that defensive side.
Thank you.
And that's very important. And we appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming tonight, and congratulations on a great game, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Congratulations.
Good job, man. Mac Williams. Hey, even saying his name in the press box is kind of cool. Mac Williams. I mean, it rolls right off.
Our offensive player of the week is Reed Burrell.
All right. right, he's been up here before. All right, come on, man. All right, what a night from our big receiver right here, a defensive stalwart and our big receiver. How'd it feel to haul in 2 touchdown passes?
It felt pretty good, scored my first one last week and getting 2 this week felt pretty nice.
Well, that means maybe 3 this week. Okay, so that means you hold the distinction of catching Cooper Kowalski's first touchdown pass. Mm-hmm. Did you and him have a little special moment where he maybe said thank you? And
after he threw it, he came up to me and he said, "I'm your backup, and I just threw my first touchdown to you."
All right, that was really cool. But you had a great, you're turning into an unbelievable receiver from that tight end position. We are so excited about what you've been doing, guys. Talk about it.
Just the first thing I'd say is you're getting great separation. I mean, tell us about how you are able. I mean, I know it just comes down to speed, but I know that's something that receivers work on constantly. But you're getting separation from your defenders.
At practice we work a lot on what we're doing, the routes we're running, and I think just knowing what defense they're playing helps a lot too. Looking at the backs, see what they're going.
Yeah, you had an awesome game. I was showing the stats. I think I was showing 6 for 127. Is that right, Chris?
I say six catches for 127 yards.
That's what, 21 yards a catch. So either thank the coach for calling that play or thank Ty for finding you on the route. That's excellent yardage on a pass each time. So great job. Just keep it up.
Thank you.
Not only that, but, the touchdown passes are great, but you have proven to be a go-to guy in other situations when we're needing some yards and we're needing a crucial catch. This year you have been providing that. And so if you had to model yourself off of another tight end you think about, who would it be?
I don't even know.
Okay. Well, that's okay. Just be yourself. But there, the tight end position has become one of the most creative, one of the most important positions in not only high school, but in the pros, college. Everybody now is using that position, kind of like they're using you now, kind of the go-to guy. And of course, that has been played off handsomely for us on Friday nights, and so we really appreciate it. Now let's talk a little bit about the old defensive side. You enjoy it over there?
I love defense. I like it a lot.
More than offense?
I'd say about the same.
Oh, okay. You love your coach, though, right?
Yeah.
Defensive coach?
I love my defensive coach.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that.
I was always told we didn't have to think as much on that side of the ball.
So
I'm a defensive player.
You talked a minute ago about calls and stuff. The touchdown pass that you caught, the first one you caught, what play was that? Tell us what play that was.
I believe it was gun, flex right, swap, ace logo. So Reed Giles is on the right side. He's running like a fake slant and a go. I have a seam. I think Reed Lefevre's might have had a post maybe, and the safety was playing cover 3, I believe, and he just ran across the field. Reed Giles was going down the sideline, and he left me wide open on the left.
Did y'all hear all that? Did y'all understand all that lingo?
Yeah.
All right, good, because seams and stuff and all that. You got to be smart to play this game. These guys are smart. What was the second touchdown? What play was that?
I think it was gun, dual left, Z right, a snag.
We called that in the press box, I think, the same thing. We felt like that was what was coming up. But, wow, it is so impressive to hear you guys talk about football, man. I mean, when Joey was playing, they just drew it in the dirt.
Yeah.
But it is so good to hear you guys and how smart you really are. And if you noticed, he just told us what 4 other players are supposed to do on that play. So you have to know everything. You got to know what other players are doing, not just yourself. And we appreciate that.
What's your favorite route?
Yeah.
The cross route.
I was going to, yeah. You've done well on the cross route. That was going to be my bet was his crossing route. But you do great on those. Thank you.
All right, man. You're the offensive player of the game, Reed Ball. Good job, man. All right, guys. We're now, our coach of the week is here, and this guy right here is he. You talk about a happy coach, man. Every day when he walks into that building over there on campus, he is smiling. Why is he smiling?
He's got a heck of a room. He really does. It's number one is really talented, but number two, they're all the things that we want our program to be about. They lock in, they practice hard, they're physical, all the things that you want your room to be about. They're fun to be around, and certainly Clay does a great job building that culture with our running back position. He holds them to a high standard, and he gets them to perform to a high standard. So he deserves a lot of that credit for their performance. Certainly, they're talented, but they've got a good coach as well.
All right, why don't we bring him over?
Let me tell you this too. This is important because there's so many things that go into a football program, and every night that we bring some of these guys up, I tell what their other job is and what they do other than just coach football for us. And Clay's got a huge job in that he manages our equipment. So all of the stuff that our kids are in as far as their shoulder pads, their helmets, their jerseys, their pants, all of that stuff, he's managing all of that. And that is a tremendous job. I mean, there's people – at the college level, that is a full-time job.
Yep.
And we expect the same thing out of Clay and coach running backs and be a teacher. So it's a huge job. He's doing a great job of it, and not to mention the laundry that he manages on at the end of every day.
Oh, wait a minute, time out.
Yeah.
He's in charge of the laundry too?
Yes.
After the games?
Not by himself, but he's in charge of making sure that it gets done.
Oh, my goodness.
So
okay.
that's kind of spread out amongst all the coaches, and we, I don't, and I probably should. The rule is if we win the state championship, I do laundry after the state championship game.
Well, I tell you what, man. Well, let me ask you that, Are you a Tide or Gain person then? Because you're going to be doing it.
I have to ask Clay. I'm going to use whatever's in there.
Yeah, okay. We're going to start calling you Mr. Tide because come into December, baby. I can't wait. All right, let's bring Coach Worley in. Your offensive backfield coach. All right. By the way, we did not. I apologize if you were here last week. We talked to Coach Richardson, and we never did bring up the stuff that he did besides coaching because he started talking about his players and how much he loved them. And it turned into an interview that was unbelievable only because we just let him talk about why he loves to teach and coach. And so, but he does a lot of stuff too. But is it Tide or Gain? Or do you know?
Coach Welch
Okay.
provides.
All right. Okay. All right. Good deal. Welcome
I appreciate
to the hot seat here. Thank you. We've been watching you for a while now here at Rabun County, but you have to feel like one of the luckiest guys in the room because you were coaching these guys, these super seniors, when they were just little old bitty freshmen, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about the development of that room. And when we talk about room, we're talking about a meeting room where all the offensive backs are in that meeting room, and he's leading that discussion on what we're going to do. Tell us a little bit about that room.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing is what they bring to the table every day. They come in, wanting to know what they've got, and they come in with a locked-in mindset. But as freshmen, they came in hungry. I knew Reed was really talented, from seeing him as a seventh grader when I first got here, and then it just kind of blossomed. He started to grow and really develop. And then, I had Noah back then as well, and you've seen the toughness and just the physical fight in him then as well. And they just started developing, and, Reed started playing as a sophomore, and so did Noah. And you just seen him kind of take off, and I want to say Reed was over 1,000 and I want to think Noah was around 700 just as sophomores, and then it just continued to develop. But what they do is they just come in, and, you know, every day that we get to meet and every day that we get to talk about football or watch film, you know, they come in, they want to know what they did the day before well, what they did wrong, what we've got that's new, and, you know, what I'm expecting for them. They're really good communicators, and, you know, they're really good about letting me know what they need, and then, you know, they give me everything that I ask for. We ask a lot of them.
All right. Talk a little bit about Lake Evans coming in here last year.
Yeah, so Lake came in, you know, last year right at the beginning of summer. You know, I didn't know a lot about him. I had a few clips of film on him, but I'd seen that he had ran some offense at his old school that was similar to some of our run schemes, and I seen that he had good feet, he had good vision. And then first time I see the kid, he's just smiling. And every time you're around Lake and you know, he's just going to smile at you, whether things are going great or whether things are going bad. And, you know, started coaching him, got to building a relationship with him, and got really positive. And the guys just kind of brought him into the fold. And then you see him just start developing and sparking all that talent on the field. And it's like, dang, we've got another one to add in to what we've already got and just keep building this thing. But they're special.
And then your freshman that came in the other night.
Mm-hmm. So I've known Amir since I want to say since he was in 5th grade, and he's had something about him that you could see from even then that he's talented. He's not, you know, he's not a talker. He's very quiet, and he just gets excited when you tell him, hey, we get to work, we get to play football. I can tell him, hey, I need you to come run scout team. He gets excited. Oh, I get to run the ball. Okay, I get to go run against the starting defense, and you're starting to see some of the things come alive that are really going to make him a special player over these next, 3.5 years.
And that's exciting. Yeah, that is exciting knowing we still got him for 3 years. No doubt. He's kind of he reminds me a little bit of Lake in his running style as far as he's a bruiser. The other night, Joe, I think you talked about him. He was looking for people to hit.
Yeah, I think it was maybe his third 12-yard run. It was a sweep out to the right, and he could have stepped out. I mean, not out of bounds, but he could have stepped out and maybe got it. But he wanted to hit the defender and took him about 2 or 3 more yards.
Yeah, he does that a lot.
Yeah,
if he's got a choice of getting out of bounds, making a cut, or running through somebody, he wants to prove that he can run through somebody, and he's going to get up smiling about it. And if it's Andre the Giant, he's going to try to run through Andre.
Oh, yeah.
And I love it.
As a coach, that's got to be an amazing feeling to have a Reed Giles, a Lake Evans, and an Amir Thompson that, you can spread the ball out in the backfield just between those 3 there. It certainly takes the load off each of them, but, all of them were close to Reed was over 100, but the rest were close to 100 yards rushing as well the other night. So that's got to be an amazing feeling just knowing you've got those tools in the backfield.
It is. It's really fortunate.
Coach, I got 2 questions.
All right.
Number one, we hear it all the time about running backs, is that they have vision. And I get that, you have to learn to be patient, and they have to let things unfold. Is that something that they just got, or is that something that you really work on and coach that?
They've got it. I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from those guys. They've got it. They're talented, and I don't want to take credit for, the God-given ability they have. But we do work it. It's one of those things where, we'll work specific runs, in fundamental time, whereas, we'll set up cans, to represent the gaps and the linemen, and they know on certain runs, all right, this is where I'm aiming, and then this is what I'm reading, and then these are my options. Mm-hmm. And then what I make them do a lot of time, it's a drill we call run read, is I make them run at the aiming point, and then I'm behind one of the cans, and I wait, and they've got to go full speed. And I wait till the last second, and then I'm stepping and sliding behind one can. And I've got to trust them because if not, they're running into my forehead. But a million reps of that over 3-4 years, it polishes those skills up. But, man, they possess it. And they've almost got a little sixth sense where they can feel, where the daylight's coming before it opens up.
Of course, I'm going to go back to our line again. They are opening up some
they did.
Magnificent lanes for them to run through. So they're doing a great job on that. But you're talking about that, and a lot of times we see, Reed, sometimes it's play development because we can see Reed we know he's not full speed, and he's just waiting for it to open up, and then there it is, and he's gone. So.
And the other question, and this is kind of like Coach Richardson's a lot too. I know this too from you coached both my boys, and they were linemen. They weren't running backs. But you always seem to really care about the kids and those relationships. Just how you're talking about right now with that running back room. How important is it to you to build those relationships, and not just about football but beyond football?
Well, I mean, starting with football, I don't think I could ask these kids, to do all the things that we ask them to do unless they know that I care about them. And then once you get that built, you can start getting some good things going on the field. But if they realize that, hey, it only stops here, when we cross the lines, then that's, just me using them, for what they're good at. They've got to know that I care about them, and I do. It's one of those things. My wife and I talked about it before the season started. She's like, "Are you going to be all right this year when these guys graduate?" I was like, "I don't know. We're going to cross that bridge when we get there." Cause you spend a tremendous amount of time with them. You get to know them. You get to know their families. You get to know, what their interests outside of football are. You get to know who they are as people, and it makes things get closer and tighter, and then it makes you want to see them succeed on the field and off the field even more. So I think it's extremely important. If I can't build a positive relationship with the guys I coach, I don't think I could do a good job and be effective.
Amen to that. That's great.
Well, I know you like hunting and fishing, I know. But so does Reed Giles ever take you out on the lake and show you where the sweet spot is out there on the lake? Or does he just keep them all to himself?
Is that all he talks about?
Yeah, is that all is it fishing and football?
There's a lot of times there's a lot of fishing conversations. He hasn't taken me out, but now see,
are you kidding me?
I don't bass fish.
Oh my
I try
God!
to fish. But I will say this: I've got a good food plot up where I live. He will mosey his way to my food plot about 3-4 times a year. But he's so respectful. He told me one day, he said, "Man, I seen a dang good 10 in your field." I'm like, "Why didn't you shoot it?" I'll leave it for you. Like, then why'd you even drive up there? But so we talk a lot about that.
Well, that's the spirit of these kids, ain't it?
No doubt.
I mean, they are. That's the spirit of Rabun County kids. I'm telling you, man. These Rabun County kids. I've never been yes sir and no sir. I saw Lake Evans in town the other day, and I had quit saying yes sir, man. We're never going to finish this conversation. These guys are so polite, and that's a reflection of you coaches.
Yeah,
it really is. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your family. You mentioned your wife. Tell us a little bit about your family.
All right, so my wife, her name's Christina. She works here at the high school as well. She's our school nurse. We have 2 daughters. Adeline's 12. She's in 7th grade. And then we have a younger daughter, Hayden. She's 8 and in 3rd grade. Funny story, my wife went to a high school that did not have football. And my wife had never been to a high school football game, and I proposed to her right before my first season of coaching. But now she's fully been baptized in football, and she knows everything. She's watching the game. She's complaining about flags are coming out. Well, that's an area of a hold, this and that. So it's been a fun ride.
So she knows a little bit about it now.
She knows a little bit about the game now.
Tell your daughters, are they sports gals?
So they're both into gymnastics. They're both into tennis, and then my oldest daughter plays a little bit of softball.
All right. We got a great softball program. Good coach. All right. That sounds good. All right. So, and they touched on it a little bit, but I'd kind of like to know, well, first of all, is there other people we need to know about in that room that we haven't really got a chance to really see yet?
Yeah, I think J.K. Frooster is a big one,
Yep,
and we've seen him a few times.
Yep.
And, I think J.K. is capable of doing a lot of the same things that we see, on Friday night. And we seen it a couple of weeks ago at home against Banks, early in the game.
Yep.
He rips one off, and then if you go back and look, he makes a couple of key lead blocks on a couple of runs that Reed had on a screen. J.K. is a really smart, cerebral football player. He's so important to our defense. He doesn't roll in as much yet, but Coach G and I talked after that Banks County game that how comfortable you feel that if you get to that point where you need to go to J.K., you can trust him to do anything that we need to do. He's got a great personality. He's fun to be around. And then the same thing with Sean. Sean's been in that room 3 of the last 4 years. Okay. He plays a ton of defense, but Sean's got some wiggle and some moves about him as well.
All right. And last year when we had a few injuries, they came in and ran the ball quite a bit last year too. So the last question then is going to be, and they touched on it a little bit, at the end of December after Coach Gillespie washes all the uniforms, are you going to be using one of those to cry on because you're losing these guys, not only as players but as friends?
It's going to be emotional when these guys are gone. Just because I've spent so much time with them, as players and just as humans, it's going to be hard to get used to not seeing them every day because you spend so much time with them. But no doubt, it's going to be tough. But it's a good thing that it's going to be tough because it means it's been a fun, great ride, and it's been some great relationships built. So,
all right. Well, hey, all of you out there who did not know this much about Coach Worley now know that, man, there's a man on that staff just like the rest of them who love your kids. Mm-hmm. They love your kids, and they not only do they want to see them do well, they want to see them do great things after football, and that's what it's all about with these guys. I know, and so we want to thank you for I guess leading that room, but also deciding who's going to get that ball because it's got to be a hard choice on who you want to give it to sometimes. So we just want to thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Your offensive
Appreciate it,
coach. Thank you. Oh, by the way, mouthpieces and chin straps, do you lose a lot of them? Millions, he said. All right. When you're in charge of equipment, jock straps, mouthpieces, chin straps, the whole 9 yards. Coach, it has got to be every coach we've had up here so far and the ones we're going to have, you've got to be thrilled with this staff.
I really am. We're very blessed to have the group of men that we have leading our team, and really proud of the staff that we have.
Okay. All right, let's talk a little bit about Commerce. This Friday night, by the way, Commerce is coming to town, and we've had 2 straight years of some unbelievable games with them, heartbreakers, but they're coming in this year a little under performing of what they have in the past, but I know that doesn't mean anything to you. But they are coming in as 0-2 in the region. They were beat by Elbert County last week, but I got a feeling they're going to come in here hungry, and I know that's what you're afraid of. So tell us a little bit about what you're thinking on Commerce.
Well, number one, they're Commerce.
That's right.
That's a lot of history. That's a lot of tradition, and that alone makes those kids play hard to defend those traditions that have been there for years and years and years, and that's always dangerous. It gives them a certain confidence, regardless of what's going on around them and what's happening with their season and all those things. So, and then beyond that, they've got a lot of skill. They got speed. And it's the same guys on both sides of the ball. They're similar to us in that they have a lot of two-way players, but they've got a corner that's a wide out. They've got a running back that's a safety, and those guys have had great performances for them. And you watch them offensively; they're very streaky. Against Athens Academy, it was like three series in a row. They are able to create explosive plays, and they can do that because of their athleticism and their speed. And defensively, they do enough defensively that you have to prepare for some things. They move the front a good bit, and they play hard. So all those things mean that, and you can tell that they take pride in what their special teams look like, and so all those things mean that. We need to be at our best on Friday night.
Absolutely. Okay, they're coached by Lenny Gregory. For those of you who don't know, I know Coach Stewart, you know him because he coached in Gwinnett County. He was a state championship coach at Collins Hill back in 21. He coached Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter, by the way, when he was there. And he's new. This is his first year at Commerce. He's got a 63-53 record, so he's obviously a pretty good coach and stepping into a situation where he's obviously rebuilding. But we know rebuilding sometimes it can just come together all of a sudden.
Right.
And, so we hope that does it. By the way, they lost to Athens Academy. You mentioned them, who is a power in our region, 49-28 a couple of weeks ago, and then Elbert County beat them last week, 16-6. So they've already had a couple of region games as well. But we're going in, and we've got them at home. You know, we had to play them 2 straight years at Commerce, which was kind of that wasn't good. I didn't enjoy that at all. But we got them at home, and so we're expecting a big home crowd. It's rec night.
Right.
Yep. Joey.
Yes,
you
sir.
know a lot about rec ball over
yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah. Show up early, corral a bunch of kids, and keep them from off the track and doing all the right things. But it's always just a tremendous night just because I think we talked about this earlier, one of the Tuesday night a while back, 5th quarters ago, that how important it is to have basically a farm league for the program. And I know you're intentional about that. Tell us why and tell us, y'all come out for rec night and cheer on these kids. But
yeah, absolutely.
Tell us about that.
And I think it's important. When I was a kid, heck, I can't remember wanting to do anything more than. I mean, at that time, we walked down the steps on the side. Yeah. And I remember going to games and I couldn't wait until that was me. Yeah. And now that was a long time ago. But you've got a new group of kids that's them, and you want to put them in a situation where they can get up close with it, and if it's something that that makes them want to continue to play and those things, and really be hungry to grow up and be a Wildcat, that's what we're trying to do.
And we were remember talking as a coach, talking to these young kids. Like, you see those guys out there right now that get to play this game in just a minute.
That's right.
You very well could be out there. You keep doing the small things and keep showing up and doing your best in practice and all the good things. It's just rec night is just it's a great way to encourage those kids and help them think about that.
Absolutely, and it's so important for us because it's the future of our program.
Right.
And let's just. I know we're running out of time, but real quickly, tell us about how important it is to get down there to that rec league and get some of those coaches indoctrinated to the Rance Gillespie School of Coaching here on what we want to run as an offensive team. Important.
Yeah. So, I mean, anything that you can kind of accomplish at the levels below are going to be things that the kids already know when you get them. And, when we went into spring ball this year, it was, we were starting from 0. And that should never happen again. Right. It shouldn't happen because of, what they get at the rec league, what they get at the middle school, what they get as freshmen, and so on and so forth. There should be a progression of things that you want to accomplish at each level. And certainly, it's a small dose of where we want to get to. But, if they just learn just a handful of terminology, it's a big jump in the right direction. And I really appreciate the effort and the work that our rec coaches are putting in to try to do that. I think when Tyrus was here a couple of weeks ago, we talked about meeting with those guys and getting some terminology and some stuff like that established. So, it could be as simple as, hey, on our zone plays we go this way, on our gap plays we go this way, and but still that's one more thing that that's kind of indoctrinated into your program, and that they don't have to learn at another level.
You've been at programs before where when those kids got to you, they already knew where they were supposed to line up and how important it was. So you're working that now starting this year, so that's great news for the rec league. All right, everybody, so where are you going to be Friday night? Frank Snyder Memorial Stadium, 7:30 kickoff. Your Rabun County 6-0 Wildcats are going to be taking on the Commerce Tigers, and it's time that we gave them a little bit of what we're made of this week, and I think we will. And so I expect to see all of y'all out there, and it's going to be a great night, Coach, and we look forward to it. Hopefully, when we're done there, we're going to be 7-0, but it'll be a great night. Any closing comments, guys?
Hey, I just had before here, I was at the softball field. It was senior night for our softball ladies. They did a great job. Lauren Mazzarchi, Melon Suarez, a bunch of those senior girls, and just great to see all that support for those ladies come out, and I'm looking forward to seeing for our guys on Friday night.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody. See you Friday night. Thank y'all for being here. Go Cats.
Skin, skin, skin.
Skin.
Good luck. Congrats. Appreciate it. Keep them grounded.
Appreciate you guys so much. My family watches for me.
Well, I still don't see how I'm going to make me a sheet this week. Chime in and I'll give them my with the names.
I was going off of your case.
But I think of the right receivers. So I'm going to make me a sheet where I don't have to. It's just there. I just mark.